buy here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, from median salary up to multiple six-figure income. And this isn't just some online mortgage calculator. These are going to be real listings that will change how you think about your buying power. But I know rules aren't much fun, but this could save you a lot of money. It could also save your butt in case of emergency. But here's how it works. The rule of thirds says that a third of your gross income goes to housing. When I say housing, I'm not talking just mortgage. I'm talking about everything. So you want to think about the principal and interest, the property taxes, the insurance, PITI, if there's PMI, all that, right? So why does this matter? Well, because you've got to live. You got to plan for expenses, emergencies, flat tire, water heater goes out, God forbid the AC goes out. Following the rule of thirds gives you flexibility because you're able to live, you're able to save, you're able to own a home and it not own you. This is where it really gets interesting. Usually this is going to blow people's minds because whenever I tell them this, lenders, as great as they are, they're not all created equal. They can approve you with a debt to income ratio up to 45% just for the housing. So you could have half your income going towards your housing. And you know what will happen if you have an emergency. You'll be up a creek without a paddle. Something comes up and you're not able to budget for it, you're in a bad position. So let's break down the math real quick. So take your annual income, your salary, divide it by 12, and then multiply that by a third, 0.33. That's your max monthly payment. So if you're making $100,000, that's about $8,300 a month, times 0.33, that gives you $2,750 for your max housing. So it's really that simple. Not so much what you qualify for, but following the rule of thirds, which is a great way to structure your finances if you don't have that in place. But then we got to consider a down payment. So a bigger down payment could lower your monthly payment. If you put 20% down versus 10 versus 5, they're all different ball games really. So if it's less than 20, you're probably looking at PMI, private mortgage insurance. Basically, you're paying the bank's insurance in case of default, and that's the risk against you going into default. So that could add a couple hundred each month, really depends on the type of loan. So all those things can add up. Property taxes and insurance in Fort Worth. Here's something that you need to know. Why we're following the rule of thirds, it's important. It gives you breathing room. As I mentioned earlier, and when the AC goes out in the middle of summer, and trust me, at some point, if you stay in the house long enough, it's going to. Actually, just last summer, we had to replace the evaporator coil. That was almost $4,000, and we've got 2 units in our home. So if the whole thing went, I imagine it's going to be a $20,000 bill. So again, following the rule of thirds gives you the flexibility to set money aside. So when it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when those things come up, you've planned for it. You're following the rule of thirds. It's a really important piece of the puzzle. So, you're looking at, just having that flexibility. We're talking about Fort Worth specifically. This is where the property taxes in Tarrant County can be around 1.81%, as high as 3%, and it really just depends on the specific neighborhood. And that can add up quick. On a $400,000 home, that could be around $8,800 a year. That's $733 every single month, just in property tax. But wait till you see what happens on the property taxes for $1 million states. Yeah, it gets crazy. But it doesn't stop there. Of course, you got insurance, and Fort Worth is a little bit higher than the national average because we've got weather patterns and hail and wind and all this stuff. So we're talking $3,000 on a $400,000 home, about $3,000 to $5,000 a year, and then you got to factor in things like HOA, and then some of these neighborhoods could charge $200-$300 and up per month. Most of them have something to offer that offsets the cost. So when we talk about your total monthly payment, we're looking at principal and interest, taxes, insurance, and then if there's HOA, if there's PMI, it's the additional stuff that comes into play as well. So now that you understand the rule of thirds, so a third of your gross income, we want to show you what this actually means in real life. And I think you'll find this interesting. So what I mentioned earlier, I had a client that closed maybe 2 months ago, bought with a $65,000 a year salary. And this is our first income level. So what can you buy for $65,000 a year? Well, what does that mean in terms of monthly payment? Let's start with that. $1,700, maybe $1,800 a month. That's right about a third. So that means that payment, $1,700 to $1,800, that's going to put us right in the middle of the $2 to $250 price point. That's challenging for almost any area. But I was shocked when I started doing the search with my client, and what was available was somewhat shocking. So there's this house in Riverside. It's 225, a little under 1,600 square feet, completely updated. Now we're talking about new flooring, fresh cabinets, fresh paint, lights, fixtures. Monthly payment breakdown comes in a little over $1,800. It's like $1,810. It even comes with a chicken coop. You can even start your own egg empire if you want. No HOA. All right, so you can't have the chicken coop in this specific neighborhood. So compared to what you'll see at the $500,000 income level, which we'll get to later, these homes might seem modest, but they're incredible starter opportunities. And don't do what I did. I sold my first house. It was a 1,200 square foot box, perfect house for renting, and I got rid of it. One of the dumbest mistakes I made, so don't make that mistake. But here you see a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in North Fort Worth for $225. It's not quite 1,200 square feet, smaller than the other house. But here's the thing: the HOA is $387 a month. So for very low maintenance, there's no, you're not mowing outside, you're not dealing with the gutters, you're not dealing with any of the stuff. Don't have to worry about the roof. You're just worrying about inside the walls. So $387 does have value, and it does offset some other expenses that you'll incur on a regular house. But that's a decision you got to discuss, and does it make sense for you and your family. Plus, this property is a corner unit, tons of natural light, laminate flooring throughout. They also put in new windows. You talk about something that'll save you some money. The heat transfer on old windows versus new is remarkable. So that's something that you don't have to deal with. Total monthly payment on this property is about $2,200. So you're trading space for amenities and location. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Sean. I've been helping hundreds, if not thousands, of families move within the Dallas-Fort Worth area and to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for over 25 years. And we would be honored to help you with your next move. So please subscribe so that you can be the first to learn about the current market here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So now getting back to our first income level, $65,000 a year. You're looking at neighborhoods around Fort Worth, like Riverside, parts of Southside, far east Fort Worth, maybe Haltom City, White Settlement up north before you get into Keller. Older neighborhoods with potential, really a lot of potential. These are areas that have transformed over the years. We've watched them turn over a couple of times now. And it's pretty amazing what's happening there. And like the near South Side just got a whole new revitalization with restaurants and breweries. You're talking about, this is easy lifestyle, your commute short. Some of those communities can be within 20, 30 minutes or less of downtown Fort Worth based on traffic. But homes are typically going to be older in most of these neighborhoods. They probably need some updates, but you're building equity. If you update some of these older homes and sell down the road, decide to move up in price, you're going to have a decent chunk of equity if you're not keeping it as a rental, which is my first recommendation. But these are really good starter homes. This is where you can own pretty much the same price to rent. You're anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. Most of the time, you're going to be able to own that property with minimum down, and the cost of owning is going to be less, especially when you factor in the tax savings, less than what it costs to rent. So again, following the rule of thirds, this is the first recommendation. I can't stress that enough. If you don't already have your finances in order, this is a great way to start. It's a great starting point, especially if this is going to be your first home. All right, let's jump into the next category. Salary number 2. This is $100,000. So you're making $100,000. It's awesome. The game changes a little bit, right? So if your max monthly payment on 65 was around $1,800, then this almost doubles. You're about $2,750 for a max total monthly payment. And when you're factoring in Fort Worth taxes, insurance, you're looking at about $2,000 for principal. And so that puts you in the $325 to $375 price range. And well, what can you buy for that? So found a property This is in North Richland Hills, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's $375, and it's about 1,750 square feet. Built in 1983, not brand new, but the majority of the property's been updated. So monthly payment, let's talk about that. So you're looking at $2,885. That's all in. That's taxes, insurance, that's the PITI. So they just spent over, what does this say, $23,000 on plumbing repairs. So they replaced all the old cast iron pipes, brand new HVAC as of last year in 2024. All windows have been replaced. Kitchen has granite counters, updated backsplash. I mean, they went through this property top to bottom, it looks like. And, you know, this is 2-bedroom. Well, no, that's the next property. So the one in North Richland Hills, they've already dealt with older home issues that you don't have to deal with. So they've already done that. Get the home inspection, check everything out, but they've dealt with most of the issues that somebody's going to have with a home that was built that long ago. All right, the next place, this one's in Arlington, 2-bath townhome for $385. So this is 1,400 square feet. HOA is $300 a month. So if you look at the total, that's around $3,166 a month. It's less space than the one in North Richland Hills, but the location is fantastic. You're in the middle of Arlington, so you're talking about walking distance to everything: restaurants, shopping, low maintenance. The HOA covers most of that exterior. Oh, here's something interesting. You can join the Arlington Athletic Club for $10 if you live in the city of Arlington. Basketball court, gym, lap pool. I mean, this place is decked out. Now, if you think that's, you know, elevated standard of living, wait till you see what you can buy when the income level jumps to $250,000 a year, which we'll get there in a bit. So it's interesting at this income, your options open up. I mean, you're looking at better school districts. These are the ones that people move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for. You go up to North Fort Worth, new construction homes, built in the 90s to 2000s. Typically, at this income level, at this price point, you're dealing with fewer issues in general. Not across the board, not 100% of the time, but you're dealing with fewer issues. Typically, less foundation trouble. You don't have ancient plumbing. You got shorter commutes and more time with the family. So less time in traffic. But if you're looking at North Richland Hills, the edges of Keller, parts of Arlington, maybe even Euless, and they're not just houses, they're actual communities. I mean, places with pools. People actually use the parks in these areas. You'll see families out all the time. You got Whole Foods, Central Markets, just a few minutes away. Lifestyle improvements, you know, just everything is going to be a bit more elevated. 2-car garages are standard. Most homes have a home office, maybe even a guest room. AC works, the roof doesn't leak. I mean, you're not spending every weekend at Home Depot trying to fix something, right? Or maybe that's your thing. Maybe you're looking for the fixer-upper. If you're looking for the fixer-upper, good for you. Some people are, some people, I would say more people are not. Me personally, I am blessed with the ability to fix just about anything and the patience to not. I mean, suddenly you're not just buying a house, you're buying into a whole lifestyle when you're at this income level. So, and by the way, if you don't feel like these areas around Fort Worth in the 215 to 250 range, or even the 300 to 350 range fit your lifestyle, there's quite a few new construction communities up north. We're talking about Denton, Roanoke, Trophy Club. You know, some of these areas you got a little bit further north, but you can get brand new construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses in those price ranges. But that's why we always encourage you to reach out, because we know these little hidden spots, the pockets where you've got good school districts. So, you know, going with something older in Fort Worth, you could be a little bit further north and find new construction, and there are homes in the 250 to 350 range, new construction, brand new, never been lived in. Good incentives. I mean, incentives right now with builders is insane. You can get sub 6% all day long, and they're dealing. So now's the time to strike. If you've been on the fence, you've been wondering when's a good time to, I'm telling you right now, it's a really good time to buy. So that's why I want you to contact us. All our contact information is will be at the bottom of this video. If you hit the description, it's there as well. So let's move into the next income category, number 3. This is 250. All right, now we're moving into serious territory. We're talking about $250,000 a year in income. I know that can sound like a lot, but there's quite a few people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that hit that target. I mean, you got tech executives, entrepreneurs, business owners, dual income professional couples who are crushing it. It's actually where most of our clients sit. It's their max monthly payment. It's going to come in at about $6,875. That's $5,200 for your mortgage, the principal and interest, and the rest taxes and insurance. So we're in the $850 to $950 range with that payment. So let's take a look at this first house. This is in Colleyville, 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath. It's priced at $860, and this is 4,379 square feet, built in 2003. So monthly payment is about $6,185 in total. And this place has pretty much everything. You got a media room for watching the Cowboys or whichever team is yours. I wouldn't be watching the Cowboys. Somebody in my house would be. Every other week when they win. But the game room upstairs that comes with a pool table and a resort-style lagoon, there's even more. So you have custom-built arbor area with an outdoor wood-burning fireplace, built-in gas grills, stone counters. The original owner really spared no expense in decking this house out. So it's been taken care of. Plus, all the schools are within walking distance. That is valuable. Like, that's something that we loved with our kids when they were in elementary and middle. Being able to walk them to school was awesome. So that's a fantastic thing. But the pools at the $1 million level, which we'll see here in a minute, make even this place look tame. If you want an investment opportunity, look at this next property. This is a 6-bedroom, 4-bath duplex in Tanglewood for $925. That's 3,680 square feet. One side is already rented. So half the mortgage pretty much is paid for. So we're talking about income from day one that's going to be monthly payments about $6,857. Subtract out your rent and you're left with $3,757 on a over $900,000 home. Like, that's a fantastic deal. But at this level, you really unlock some of the premium neighborhoods. Colleyville's luxury developments where they're still building. You got parts of Tanglewood. You're rubbing shoulders with some of that old Fort Worth money. You got some new Keller communities at this price point, resort-style amenities, golf course communities, even some Westover Hills adjacent areas may if you play your cards right, you can find your way into Westover Hills, which you're talking about old Fort Worth money. That's old oil money in Fort Worth. Space and features, it's just huge trees. I mean, you got different, it's a different league in Westover Hills. 4,000 square feet plus. The pools are just incredible. They're really, but that kind of thing, it's expected at the price point. But here you've got outdoor kitchens, 8 months of beautiful weather most of the time. Sometimes it's 10. You got 3-car garages because of the income. Maybe you've got a toy, you got mother-in-law suite, but all those things are nice to have. The other thing that we see is smart tech homes. A lot of automation, especially in new construction. Automation systems to control the lights, the temperature, security windows, shades. When you think about these houses and some of the new things that are in them, it's just phenomenal. So if you're looking for new construction, there's a ton of areas, especially at this price point. So we're going to get into Westover Hills, River Crest area in Fort Worth, and this brings us into the fourth income category. So this is 500,000 plus. All right, we're talking about, this is the big leagues. You're making 500 plus. It's pretty good. I know most people aren't there, but in Fort Worth, you still find a lot of investment bankers, tech entrepreneurs, C-suite executives, surgeons, doctors. I mean, that's going to put you around a little less than $14,000 a month. If you use the rule of third, that's $10,500 for principal and interest. So we're talking 1.7 to 2 million plus on the purchase price. And the first property that we're looking at this is a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath in Colleyville for 2.9. It's 5,700 square feet. This is a custom perfection home. This is the Glenwick gated community, Glenwick Farms. And monthly, that's going to be about $20,925. This place backs onto Colleyville's protected conservation area where you get total privacy. I mean, this is a resort style pool and spa, outdoor kitchen, outdoor living area. I mean, this place has it all. Walk-in wine cellars, like walk in, walk around, like that's a huge wine cellar. Commercial grade appliances. Plus, you get access to both Colleyville Heritage School District and Grapevine Colleyville ISD. It's really not just a house. It's a compound. It's an experience. It's a statement. The luxury features aren't add-ons. It's integrated. It's part of the house. It's at this price point. This is standard. So, you mean this house? They just spent, what does this say? $500,000 on finishes. You got smart home tech. If you're hosting a company retreat or a client event, you can easily host 40 people, 50 people. This has a professional kitchen with appliances, even secondary kitchens. So separate guest quarters, because you're not just hosting. I mean, you're providing an experience for the people that are coming in. High-end Fort Worth neighborhoods open up completely at this level. When you're at this price range, you're going to a whole new level here. We're talking about Westover Hills, River Crest. You're paying for the school districts as much as the house. Tanglewood Estates, this is in Colleyville. It's measured in acres, not so much feet. Like you're talking about sprawling estates and maybe a stereotypical Texas property. This is it. This is where they've created this secluded area. I mean, it's beautiful. Southlake has some premium areas with their high school football stadium, and these are champions in Southlake. And some of these campuses are even nicer than colleges. All right, so we're going to hit the last category. This is category number 5. This is TV money territory. This is $1 to $2 million a year in income. This is the money shot, right? So if you're at the 7-figure income level, and that's where Fort Worth really becomes something that you see in the movies, like what the oil barons or the tech moguls buy. And let's show you what TV money buys in Fort Worth. So we're looking at TV territory. We're talking $1 million to $2 million in annual income, and there's quite a few of these people around. All right, so private equity partners, tech founders, pro athletes, retired athletes, entertainment. Fort Worth kind of has it all. So your max monthly is going to be around $27,000 to $55,000 if you're using the rule of thirds. I told you it's going to get crazy. We're looking at $3.5 million to $7 million plus on your home. Now, let's take a look at this modern estate. This is in River Crest, and it's listed at $5 million, 7,200 square feet, and this is custom perfection, built in 2016 by Philip Jennings Custom Homes. Monthly payments about $34,700, and the place has a steel reinforced tornado safe room. So some people call this Tornado Alley. This place, you got the tornado safe room. So a full home generator, automatic shades throughout, Wi-Fi controlled lighting, automation out the wazoo, chef's kitchen, built-in coffee maker, professional appliances, and a butler's pantry, heated pool with cabana, multiple outdoor kitchen areas, and an oversized 4-car garage. I mean, gallery-worthy architecture on nearly half an acre corner lot. So it's not just living, it's commanding your environment. Then there's River Crest. The River Crest estate in gated Shady Oaks, 5.8 million, 6 bedrooms, 8 bath. It's on 1.139 acres. And yes, that's acres plural in the city. So monthly it's about $40,000 a month. Recently renovated with the kitchen taken down to the studs and completely rebuilt, like total. Wine room, music room, slate roof, guest house by the pool that doubles as a gym and outdoor kitchen with a pizza oven. Major generator upgrades. So we had power outages a couple of years ago, like power's out for a week. And so you see a lot of these high-end homes where they've got, like, people talking about generators, like this is a legit power generator. Cat 6 for technology throughout, making it a true smart home. So living quarters for staff, because you're obviously not cleaning 8 bathrooms yourself, so you've got somebody there 24 hours a day. I mean, this is old River Crest at its best. But where do the ultra wealthy buy? Well, this is it. It's the River Crest estate section. You got oil money, tech money living in that area. Forest Hill Boulevard. If you know Fort Worth, this is where the serious money is at. It's in River Crest. You got Westover Hills. These are premier streets, passed down from one generation to the next. You got the Bass family that's lived there forever. Custom builds. These are, topography here is also just beautiful. No compromises at this level. It's not about bedrooms anymore. It's about the experience. You got walk around wine cellars, home gyms that rival commercial facilities. Pools are like private water parks. Outdoor spaces like a 5-star resort. I mean, these homes don't just shelter you, they transport you into a reality TV. All right, so we went from, let's bring it all together. We went from $62,000 to $2 million in income per year. And that was quite a ride, pretty wild, actually. To look at the houses that you can buy making $65,000 up to $2 million. So whether you're looking at Riverside on your first, or your first fixer-upper, if you're eyeing Westover Hills as the final destination, then Fort Worth has got you covered. But if you're sitting there thinking about making a move to Fort Worth, I'd love to help you out. Shoot me an email at info@livinginfortworth.com. That's living in the letter N, fortworth.com. Or you can give me a call at the number on the screen or in the description below. Whether you're at the $60,000 in income level or the $2 million and up income level, know that we can help you out. Before you go, though, I've got something perfect for you. Now that you know exactly what your salary can afford in Fort Worth, I really want you to check out this next video. The next video has the best North Fort Worth new construction. This is luxury and affordable new construction. I'm talking about brand new builds where you can still pick out your finishes, pick out the carpet, pick out the cabinets, color, doors, all that stuff. Communities with amenities that will blow your mind, and much, much more. So some of these communities are selling out quickly. Don't sleep on it. Now's the time to act.